Welcome everyone. It's very good to have you all here today in this beginning of May. We are excited, very excited to be hosting an artist who is actually, we still have some of his work hanging in our gallery, in our exhibition space right now at the Center for the Book. It is John Risseeuw, and we're very excited that he has agreed to join us here today and to show off his studio down in Tempe. Arizona State University Professor Emeritus John Risseeuw taught book art, printmaking, and papermaking for 40 years. He founded the Puracantha Press, the book art imprint of ASU, in 1982, and his own Cabbagehead Press in 1972. His books, prints, and collaborative works, many on handmade paper, have been shown in over 450 exhibitions in 26 countries and have been widely collected. The Library of Congress purchased an archive of John's work on paper and all of his Cabbagehead Press books. He was founding president of the College Book Art Association and has chaired the board of directors of Hand Paper Making magazine. Over 5 decades, Risseeuw's art has often touched on political and social themes, including political corruption, equal rights, environmental abuse, fascism, illegal wars, the proliferation of landmines, and sheer idiocy. So, with that, please join me in welcoming John Risseeuw, and I will just switch the camera over to him. John, take it away.
Well, hello, Chad, and everyone else. I'm glad to have been invited to do this. Since it's a studio tour, I thought I'd first talk about the studio behind me. This is, well, when I was teaching at ASU for 35 years, I had a letterpress shop with about 15 tons of type and multiple presses that I could use when students weren't using them. Now I'm retired and my access is diminished, and so my home studio is a part of a room that also has other home things in it. Behind me is my Vandercook SP Model 4, and I thought it might be of interest that I bought it in 1977 for $300. I recently did a check, and in today's money, that would be $1,300. And then I checked online, and there's a Model 4 for sale for $13,000. So I think I bought it at a good time. I've got a double cabinet and a single cabinet of type, and also a 3/4 cabinet here. I've got pretty full runs of Cooper Black and Cooper Old Style, cable in light, regular, and extra bold, Neuland, Centaur, and Origi, and some miscellaneous Caslon, Universe, Bembo, and other stuff. So that's for the printers. I thought that I would start out with the 2 prints that are of mine that are in the exhibition that's currently at the Center for the Book. The exhibition called Rising Together, Zines, Artist Books, and Prints with a Social Conscience. And they curiously selected this print, which is, let's see, I'm going to, sorry about that. So I wanted the titles to be up so you could see them. This print I did in 1989, and it's called De Kooning in Postmodern Politics. And I did it on invitation from some people in Budapest to do a print with that shape in the center, only they called it a bicycle seat. And I turned it into a comic balloon. And so it's about Reagan's Contra Wars and what was happening in Central America. And so as I was making the print, I was thinking, what can I say to people in other countries about what was happening here? And it was pardon us, which also turns out to be pardon US, widely spaced. And a writer for Fine Print magazine described this print, on which depictions of Presidents Reagan and Bush present to us their posteriors as they grinningly emit engines of destruction in a cloud of afflatus, is out and out offensive and is seemingly calculated to be so, just the sort of thing to render nice people radiant with disgust. I like it. The colors are dull, and though the printing is unimpeachable, the broadside has an aura of nastiness, the sort of libelous, vulgar thing that latter-day government censors would perhaps like to see burned. Well, the other print that's in the show in the center is this one, which is from 2012, and it was done for a hand papermaking portfolio. So it's letterpress and, as it says, cloth relief on paper, handmade. I made it 2012 regarding the banking collapse. And so it's made from the clothing of of homeless people, 3 shredded biographies of Ronald Reagan, shredded foreclosure documents, and a copy of the 1933 Glass-Steagall Banking Act with shredded currency inclusions. And it was, the portfolio was called Fiber Exposed. Well, in between and after those 2 prints, I've done a number of projects that fall under the theme of social conscience. And in 1976, I did this for another hand papermaking portfolio about the arms trade. And this one has paper, is printed on paper that's made from a mixture of recycled paper money from the top 10 arms exporting nations, which you can see on the front, mixed with clothing of victims killed in recent armed conflicts. And their stories are recounted in the inside. So people really reacted to this, surprisingly, I thought. And so that gave me the idea later on for another project. But in between, I did this one, a collaborative book with Margaret Prentice called Spiritland. And this one is currently described in a video from the Cynthia Sears Artist Book Collection at the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art in Washington. And Chad is going to send a link to you so you can see that short video. The book needs a lot of opening and turning in order to experience it. The 2 halves of the book are printed on paper, handmade from fiber plants of Arizona on my half and fiber plants from Oregon on Peggy's half. Roadkill was a book created during a 1-week visit to the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. The subject is the effect on the environment of transportation: cars, trucks, petrochemicals, highways, and so on. Fictional text on the two-sided accordion has factual footnotes in the middle section. Pages and the cover are also screen printed with dirty motor oil, which will continue to stain the book in reflection of the continuing long-term effects of transportation on the environment. While I was teaching in a studies abroad program in Cortona, Italy in 2005, there was a terrorist bombing in London, and it was pretty affecting. And I decided, I was teaching papermaking, I decided to make a piece that would sort of demonstrate for the students something that can be done with the medium. And so this piece is an irregular shape, and the text that you see was laid into the wet pulp, and it has a definition of entropy, the steady degradation of or disorganization of a system or society. After they were dry, I embossed the date in the piece. Well, this goes back to 2001 or 2002, and this was done out of anger in the spring of 2002, using leftover handmade paper. It's Total Fucking Idiots 13 portraits. The portraits are shinkaled onto the page and then hand canceled. The text below was written on the spot with colored pencils. The faces are W. Bush, Bin Laden, Rumsfeld, Cheney, Clinton, Arafat, Reagan, and some other ones. The hardest part of making this book was editing my list of idiots down to 13. There are 2 copies. One is in the Library of Congress and one is in the library at Yale. In 2006, I did a letterpress printing demonstration at a Southern Graphics Council conference in Madison, Wisconsin. And I decided to do this piece, which has all kinds of letterpress printing tricks in the center. And again, it's about the idiots that you probably know. And this is a shot of us printing at the conference. So the last run was the one I did at the conference with a special lockup that you can see. And then as they came off the press, we handed them out to people. The edition was somewhere over 450, I think. The paper landmine project is something I started in 2000, and I took the idea that happened from the arms trade piece, and I decided that I could make prints using clothing of landmine victims and tell their stories and give facts about landmines. I traveled to Cambodia and Mozambique and Bosnia, and made lots of contacts with the demining nonprofits in different places in the world. And so I got these scraps of clothing from people that I interviewed or were sent to me. And included within the pulp of the prints was shredded money from the countries that used the landmines or made the landmines. And you can see some of them floating in this close-up of one of the prints. In 2011, I decided to end that project. I had made 15 landmine prints. And so I made this book to sort of sum up the project and update the information. It's a long accordion, also made on handmade paper with the leftovers of everything from making the prints in that project. And there are different sections for the different prints that I had made. This is the Iraq section. And this book has been pretty widely exhibited, often with the prints, as you can see here. In 2019, I was trying to decide on some project, and things were moving so fast that I kind of went back to an idea I'd had earlier, and based on a lyric by Billie Holiday in God Bless the Child, I did You Can Help Yourself. This also is an accordion book with codex sections in between. And as you can see, it takes part of the lyric, but don't take too much. And it includes lots and lots of quotes about income inequality, and also facts about incomes of the very richest and the poorest, ending the book with the full lyric of God Bless the Child. Later that year, I did Worldview, and I was feeling a bit overwhelmed and cynical, and I used up some old handmade paper that I had, and sort of didn't know that there was a pandemic right around the corner. What did I know? So my pessimism was sort of stomped on within a couple months. So early in 2020, I did this also on some old handmade paper I had left over. And things were hitting me coming out of the news constantly. And I heard someone say it's midnight in Washington, Chuck Schumer. And the same day saw the report that it was 65 degrees in Antarctica. So I threw that together with a bunch of other quotes, and I took my liberties with Albrecht Dührer's Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, a print that I've always loved, and put this together and called it an inconvenient chaos. After that, I did a rather large print, 30-inch long, printed on the press behind me, called Endless War. And it sort of lists in groups that are sort of decades, wars that have been around since the American Civil War, and before that, through the Crimean War, World Wars I, II, Korean, Vietnam, and Rwanda, and other places. And finally, this print I started last November, and not surprisingly, it's about lies. And I just finished it 2 weeks ago. So I think it speaks for itself. And that's what I've got. So, Chad, do we have any questions?
Well, you answered my first question, which was I wanted to know where the artwork from Inconvenient Chaos came from. I love that image. Of course.
Yep.
Perfect. Kathleen Walkup is very inspired by your work and says, what motivated you to begin doing this political work?
Well, I didn't mention that when I was in graduate school at Wisconsin, I was doing Impeach Nixon prints. And I had some good mentors there who were also doing politically motivated, socially conscious printmaking. And that kind of opened up a lot to me. I realized, oh, you can do that.
And it seems as though that's been an ongoing source of both inspiration and unfortunately a never-ending stream of material coming forth.
Yeah, that's right. I think in some talks I've said that I view this kind of art, this kind of artist as being a witness. It's not changing any minds with artwork like this, but it's witnessing what's happening.
Very much so. Did you want to say anything about your involvement with the College Art Association and this particular exhibition as it comes? This is a traveling exhibition, correct?
That's right. Yeah, and it's been traveling for 2 years, I think, and College Book Art Association was organized in 2008, and I was the first president. And since then, the organization's grown and has done lots of exciting programs, including a traveling exhibition like this, which has really gone to quite a few venues around the country. And the organization gives scholarships for students. It gives grants for research and is very involved in promoting book arts in the classroom.
Yes, we usually have a staff member go when we can actually go to conferences and whatnot. We usually have someone going to that conference, and many of our instructors and cohort are either members or board members or working on it in some sort. Yes, and I misspoke. I should have said College Book Art Association. So thank you. Well, it looks like we have run right up to the 1 o'clock hour here. I would like to once again say a giant thank you to John for taking the time to show us around his studio, and to see a brief tour of his amazing catalog. We hope that you have all enjoyed this tour today. Thank you for coming, and please come back again next week. We will be traveling over to see the studio of Cliff Meador. I believe it's in South Carolina. So we are excited about that, and we're excited to have you all have been here with us today. So thank you, John. Thank you, everyone, and we hope you all have a great week. We'll see you all soon.